Today we're going to be looking at Psalm 70. There we read, "To the chief musician, a psalm of David, to bring to remembrance. Make haste, O God, deliver me. Make haste to help me, O Jehovah. Let them be ashamed and confounded that seek after my soul. Let them be turned backward and put to confusion that desire my hurt. Let them be turned back for a reward of their shame that say, Aha, aha. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. And let such as love thy salvation say continually, Let God be magnified. But I am poor and needy. Make haste unto me, O God. Thou art my help and my deliverer, O Jehovah. Make no tarrying." Today we're going to spend a little bit of time looking at verse 1. "To the chief musician, a psalm of David, to bring to remembrance. Make haste, O God, to deliver me. Make haste to help me." The Hebrew word that is translated as remembrance is Strong's number 2142. And we find that word, for example, in Numbers 15:38 to 40. And there it's used twice. "Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a riband of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of Jehovah, and do them. And that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God." Excuse me. In these verses, God is emphasizing that a child of God is to both remember God's word and be obedient to it. Sadly, in this same chapter, we read about the eternal consequences of disobeying the Bible in the historical parable of the man who picked up sticks on the Sabbath, an illustration of working for one's salvation, for which God commanded him to be stoned to death. In the next chapter, number 16, we learn of the rebellion of the Levites, Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, and 250 other leaders, along with 14,700 Israelites who complained about the deaths of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, and the 250 leaders. I would also like to highlight something else in Numbers 15:38 pertaining to a riband of blue that the Israelites were to put upon the fringe of the borders of their garments. Excuse me. This was to remind them of their obligation to obey the Scriptures. Psalm 106, verse 4, also utilizes the same word for remembrance and renders it as remember. "Remember me, O Jehovah, with the favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation." There is a unique New Testament parallel in the account of the woman with the issue of blood, who had been sick for 12 years and had spent all her money on doctors to no avail. The Greek word translated as border and hem, which is Strong's number 2899, is employed 5 times in the New Testament. Let's look at one of these 3 accounts of this historical parable in Luke 8:43 to 44. Excuse me. "And a woman, having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him," this is behind the Lord, "and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood staunched." Keep in mind that the border or hem of Jesus' garment symbolizes the robe of Christ's righteousness and his word, as we saw in the Numbers 15 passage, which God gives to the elect person with salvation. This is what is typified by this woman who had an incurable disease and was healed. And of course, this all took place during the day of salvation when redemption was still possible. I'll go ahead and read verse 1 again of Psalm 70. "To the chief musician, a psalm of David, to bring to remembrance. Make haste, O God, to deliver me. Make haste to help me, O Jehovah." The Hebrew word for deliver is Strong's number 5337. And of course, it refers to the deliverance that mankind needs from death and hell, which we know is the grave and annihilation, in which all of us, every single human being that has ever lived, rightly deserves. As we read in Deuteronomy 32:39, where God uses the same word deliver, "See now that I," speaking of himself, "even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." The same idea is also expressed in the Hebrew word help. This is Strong's number 5833, which appears among other places in Psalm 108 verse 12. "Give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man."